remember the first time that somebody gave me one of my favorite kinds of candy. I was a freshman in high school and they walked up to me and they handed me this box. Handed me this box of Nerds, and I had never eaten this type of candy before. And so I pulled the tab off the top, I slid one of the sliders over, and I emptied the entire contents of one side of the box into my mouth at the same time, and I ate the whole thing in just one gulp, right? And then after I had finished that side, I shook it, and I realized that there was more inside the box. And even though I thought I had opened up the entire box, actually what I had done is I had only opened up part of the box. And it wasn't until I figured out that I had to open up another side, and for me to get everything that was intended by the manufacturer, by the creator of this particular brand of candy, I had to open up both sides in order to get everything that they intended for me to get. I learned that lesson, some time ago, that in my Christian walk, that in order to become and to receive exactly everything that the Creator desires for me to receive, I have to open up both sides of the box. See, I can expect God's blessings because the Bible says that He wants to bless us. He wants to give us the desires of our heart. He wants to do for us. He wants to care for us. He wants to take care of us. But in Deuteronomy chapter 28, the very first verse says pretty much that if you want God's blessings, then you have to obey what He commands. And then for the next 13 and a half verses, the writer of Deuteronomy just tells us that I'm gonna pour out my blessings on your family. I'm gonna pour out my blessings on your finances. I'm gonna pour out my blessings on your job. I'm gonna pour out my blessings on those that you rule over. Just an incredible amount of blessings that are promised in the first 14 verses. But in the verses that follow in Deuteronomy chapter 28, beginning in verse 15, God tells His people, God tells us that if we don't obey, that we're not going to be blessed, that we're going to receive curses where there should be blessings. See, that's like this box of Nerds, right? We as Christians, we want one side of the box. We want the blessings. Yet in order to get everything that God desires for us to have, we have to become obedient. Because it's only through true obedience that God truly can give us all of the blessings He intends. I want to encourage you today. If things aren't going the way they should in your life, if every time you turn around your checking account is in the red numbers, every time you turn around your kids are in trouble, or you're in trouble, or you can't seem to find the right person for you, I don't know what your struggles are. I don't know what you're going through. But do a self-inventory, do an assessment, and see if there's any place in your life where you have not been obedient to Him. I know that in my life, 98.7% of the time, the reason why God doesn't bless me the way He desires to is because there's one area of my life that's out of sync with what He desires it to be. I'm not saying I'm running around and I'm a horrible person and I'm a murderer and all these other things, but I'm saying there's some times where I need to forgive people, or I need to get past some things that I did, and I need to let go of the guilt and anxiety of the mistakes that I've made that God has forgiven. And so a lot of times the obedience of just allowing God to carry my burdens, allowing God to forgive my sins, and believing it is enough to open up both sides. So if you truly want everything God intends for you to have, I encourage you, open up the other side of the box.